Hi guys, this is Marilovesol and Raquel. I am one of the contributors to the She Arises team, and I'm so excited to kick off our Strong Women Squad interview series for 2017 with our very own Raquel.
Hi guys! Woo!
Yes!
Yeah.
So, the first question is I am, which is a follow-up to our I am campaign, and I'll let her start to introduce herself with I am.
Okay, hi guys. So this is Raquel. I'm the creator of She Rises, and Marilovesol is actually, I know she explained it a little bit, but she's actually taking this huge project on and interviewing. So I'm very thankful for you. She's interviewing a lot of strong women, and so since this is our first time getting started, we decided to start off with me, right? Just to get our feet wet a little bit. So I'll start off with the I am. So I feel like I think our words change every season. I can't define my whole life with one word, but I can definitely define this season in my life with one word, and I think that word would be fearless. And I'm actually wearing one of our shirts. That's fearless. Thank you.
Looking good.
Thank you. So for me, fearless, this season, a lot of things have changed in my life, and a lot of that change has come with a lot of fear. And I think one of the things that women, or me specifically, I just, women in general, and I think, Marilovesol and I have had conversations about this before, that we tend to limit ourselves because we have fear. And we tend to not go for certain things because we have fear of what people will think, fear of failure, fear of just pretty much just not succeeding when you go for that specific goal. So in this life, fearless has been my word because there's been so much change, and I'm trying to tackle this new season without fear, and it's been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very transparent, I will share with you guys, but I think when I do have fear, I always say no, you have to be fearless, and that kind of pushes me to go to kind of just go for it, step above, and I kind of talk to myself, root for myself, and say no, you're fearless, and even today, even starting this YouTube channel with Marilovesol, I think we questioned a lot of it, and it's so new to us. We don't even know how to mess with the camera, but hey, we're giving it a shot, and I'm really excited to do this with you.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I think that it's our responsibility to empower each other, and I think I hope that through She Arises, not only am I able to empower myself to kind of shoot for bigger, but I'm able to empower the women around me, and I think I'm just really excited for this.
And create a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That's right, we're making waves!
Yeah. Woo!
Yes.
That was great.
Okay, so we're making waves. This is about rising above and bringing someone along, whether you know them, you've met them, you've never met them. We've never met a lot of you guys, but we are hoping to give you a little shove towards your better self.
Yeah.
So, and we've all had role models. Some of us have kept the same role model all our lives. So I'm going to ask Raquel, who was your first role model that you remember?
Okay, Marilovesol and I were going through these questions earlier today, and I said, oh, my answers are gonna be so lame, because it's not like this huge star or anything. But for me, I think my very first role model was my mom. And a lot of women are gonna say, oh, moms, but it's true. Your mom is the first warrior, the first person that you look up to, the first person that cares for you, the first person that gives their shirt off their back to give it to you. And I think I'm an immigrant, I'm an immigrant, yeah.
Proud immigrant, yes.
I wasn't born here, and I've seen my mom, excuse me, I've seen my mom come to a country where she doesn't know the language, illegally, we weren't, and I'm going to be very open, and I mean, for me, I'm very open about everything. You know, I think that for me, my mom has been like the best example of what it is to be somebody strong and somebody to not give up under adversity, under racism, under you know, discrimination, under being said no, under you know, educating her daughter, giving her a better life. I think for me, my mom has been the best example, and I honor my mom for that, and I'm proud of her.
What's her name?
Oh, her name is, okay, so my mom's name is Hilda, and I actually, not only am I wearing my shirt, my word, I actually have her name tattooed on my chest.
Show us!
Yes.
Hilda.
I actually got this done when I was 18, and she didn't really appreciate it because it's, you know, my body, and but I don't regret it. I know it's very, very in a
bold
spot where it's very bold, but I think I own it, and I'm proud of it. So
that's so awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
I love it.
I love it too. Are you gonna cry?
A little
Okay.
bit. I'm a crier.
I'm a crier too.
So,
are you guys criers? I hope you can join us in the crying fest over
Cry
here.
every day, all day, and then keep it pushing.
Yeah.
You can't stay there. Get
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Keep it pushing.
Definitely. Give yourself a moment to cry. I mean, crying is not bad. I know it's like, oh, you're gonna cry, you know, you're weak, but I think crying, it feels good. It's strength, yeah, and it releases a lot. So give your moment to sulk and cry, but then you get up and you move forward.
Get up and go.
And you learn.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. High five. Yeah.
Our role models sometimes change. That happens. New seasons,
Yeah.
new people, new influences. So I want to know, has your role model changed since you were young?
Since okay. I don't think my role model has changed, but I think a new person has been added. And again, it's going to be really corny, but this past year has been life-changing for me because I got to meet my grandma, and for me, she's been added to, I mean, it's my mom and my grandma, but now I know where my mom came from, and that just answers so many questions. My grandma is the bomb. Like, she is one of the most strongest women I've ever met in my entire life. She is in her 80s, and she says she's 65. She's raised, most of the grandchildren have actually been raised by her for a couple years. You know, she didn't really have the best, you know, marriage, and was left with a lot of kids, and she's been able to thrive and survive and raise lawyers and raise, you know, people who have education, people that have actually contributed to society. So she's done a really good job, and so I admire her for that, and I admire her for raising my mom in the way she did. Yeah,
that's awesome. So that's 3 generations of greatness, and we're keeping it going.
Yeah, keeping it going.
So throughout, you are a student, full-time student, full-time worker, entrepreneur, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So throughout this whole thing, I'm sure you faced some obstacles. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest obstacles for me has been something I can't control, and that has been my autoimmune disease. I was diagnosed when I was 17 going into 18. I remember I started feeling a lot of physical pain at 17, and my mom had no idea what was wrong with me. And it's an autoimmune disease, so it's not genetic, or it's not passed down. It's just it's environmental based on what I've read. But that has been one of the most difficult things that I've had to deal with in my life, and still thrive through that has been really hard. And one of the other obstacles that I left my home at a really young age. I think it was my decision, and not a lot of people know that I left at a really, really young age, and then we're gonna say 16. It's really young. But I think, so I grew up really quickly, and I was responsible for myself at a really young age. So there's a lot of things that I didn't have a benefit of. I've had to put myself through school. You know, I'm still working on my bachelor's, and I'm 30, and that's one of the things that I struggle with. But I have learned that everybody's journey is different, and you shouldn't compare yourself to other people's journeys. And so life is just a learning process, and I wouldn't change my life for anything. All my obstacles and everything that I've had to face, I think has built me and has allowed me to be who I am, and I think I'm grateful for that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned your RA.
Yeah.
And do you remember any particular moment that just like stopped you from doing what you needed to do at that moment?
Yeah. It's a couple of years. Okay, so now I'm on a biologic, which allows me to. I mean, I've CrossFitted now. I'm going to the gym. I'm very active. You can't stop me. I think because I wasn't on this treatment before, and I was very limited on a lot of things, down to carrying groceries up the stairs, down to having to depend on my husband for a lot of things, physically. There was a lot of limitations. Now, past my treatment, I don't take my health for granted. I'm very, very, very aware of my health. Self-care is very important. I think for us women, we're always going, especially for us millennials, we're going. We have to do. You're a mom, you're a student, you're everything, and we forget to self-care. So for me, that's very important, from your diet to going to the gym, and that should be a priority. It shouldn't be like an added after. It should be part of your life. And
That's right.
a lot of us take health for granted, and we have to understand that we can't do or we can't perform if we're not healthy.
That's right.
So I think that's what I've learned through my autoimmune disease. And my 21st birthday, I was spent in bed because I couldn't get out of bed. And I remember Sam, my husband, had planned to go paddleboarding, and I couldn't get out of bed. And I think that was when it hit me, and I said, wow, like, I'm stuck in bed. I'm 21 years old, and I'm spending my birthday in bed, and because physically I couldn't move. So it's been rough, but I think thank God for this treatment that I have.
That's me. Sorry.
It's okay. For this treatment that I have, I'm able to be physically active and do things that I want to do. So.
So awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
And so, what would you say to women or young girls with an autoimmune disease that maybe feel chained to their diagnosis?
Yeah.
Maybe they feel like they can't do anything, they can't even plan anything. What would you tell them?
You know what? It's one of the things that I held on to was through my disease, I try to connect with excuse me, to other females my age who were dealing with the same issues. And I was able to connect with a couple. I mean, there's Amy, Fit Amy. I follow her on Instagram, and the Hurt blogger who also deals with the same issue. And
I did not know that.
yeah. Do you follow them?
Okay.
Yeah. So they deal with the exact same issue, same age.
Wow.
They're in and out of the hospitals, and I was for somebody who was just discovering her disease, looking to them was almost a sense of community. I felt like I wasn't the only one. So for those who deal with an autoimmune disease or any type of chronic illness, I definitely challenge you and encourage you to document it and share it, because it allows others who are just being diagnosed, or other people who are struggling with the same issue, that allows them to identify with you and know that they're not alone. So I definitely think that your adversity or anything that you think others can learn from, definitely share it. Do not hold back, because it definitely it played a huge role in my life, and knowing that, hey, I'm not the only 23-year-old with an autoimmune disease. There's other girls out there dealing with it, and how do they deal with it, and so it's a sense of community. Yeah.
Glad you had that in your life, and that
Yeah.
you took the initiative to use those resources,
Mm-hmm.
because I know a lot of times we don't use the resources we have, and we have to use the resources that we have. We can't just stay in victimized.
Yeah.
We got to use the resources. So if anyone out there watching has an autoimmune disease or any challenges, always DM us at She Arises. We will do our very best to reach out to you and get you that resource that you need.
Yeah, or encourage you, or provide you community or whatever. I think that's one of the most important things that I've learned, is do not isolate, regardless you have an autoimmune disease, or if you're going through a tough time in your life, you know, don't isolate. Reach out to, you know, create, even if you don't have a community, create a community. Reach out to other women, you know, and just encourage each other. I think that's what's helped us. I'm going through a rough time in my life right now, and I have my girlfriends who are always texting me, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Stacy, because homegirl comes over and cooks for me. Like yesterday, like, you know, there's certain things that, like, I'm like, dang, like, what would I do without my girlfriends, you know?
And we gotta take care of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I
take care of
mean,
them.
Little things, you know, don't
take it for granted.
It's very important to have girlfriends, community. It's like family, and I don't know, it's helped me a lot, so yeah.
You just said some words of encouragement to those who might be facing some obstacles in their lives, and I was just wondering if you have any words of gratitude towards your role models, which happen to be very personal.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any words that you would like to say to them.
There's a lot. There's a lot that I have to say to them. I think for me, one of the things that scares me the most is my grandma. Obviously, you know, she's an older person, and she's not gonna be around for a long time, and that's what I hold on to, like calling her. And I know a lot of us don't live with our family members or live with you know, those special people, but I definitely encourage you to call, or, you know, thank them, or, you know, just call them and just ask how they're doing. I think for me, quality time is the most important thing, and so that's what I give. I don't know if that's even my question. That is.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing to show your
What am I
gratitude?
doing? Okay,
you
so
call.
I call, and for my grandma in particular, I send her flowers on Valentine's Day. I mean, there's certain things that we can do, that we have access to, that we don't do because we just don't think. And for me, you know, they're more than role models. It's family. They're just these amazing women that have had this huge impact in my life, and I think that they should not be taken for granted, and little acts of kindness is definitely encouraged. I regardless of card, whatever it is, like, I definitely encourage you to do something like that.
Even if they're not your close family.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a friend. Even if it's someone on Instagram. Like,
yeah.
You never know. You might give them that little push. Everyone's fighting a fight.
Yeah.
And who knows? Even the most well-put person needs a push.
Mm-hmm.
Because every day is a struggle, and every day is a fight. And sometimes...
yeah.
they might want to quit, and it might be that a little encouragement, that thank you for encouraging me, will encourage them back.
Yeah, and I think we take that for granted. I think we live in such a fast-paced, like, environment, lifestyle. We go. We want to produce. What's next? What's the next step? And I think that we're living life, and so quickly we're not even enjoying the journey. And it sounds so corny and cliche, but it's so true. Like, there's gonna be a point where, we're 50, and you've reached all these goals, but did you enjoy the journey or the process to reach those goals? And I think, like, because we live in an instant gratification society, like, we want, check off, but don't forget about enjoying that, the time that it took to actually get to that point. And how is that related to? I totally
No, because you're going into, like, what people do, and how they inspire you, and then when we go, like, sometimes it's so important for someone to be like, what your hustle matters.
Yeah.
So a simple thank you.
Yeah.
Is that thing that's gonna keep you going and take your breath away and make you stop and think. My sleepless nights, my lack of sleep, my this or that is worth it.
My sacrifices here. Yeah, but one thing that I am going to say that I've learned this season in my life is that, and it sounds very, very, very gray and dark, but when we die, we don't take anything with us. And we need to understand that our investment here on this earth is with people.
and memories
and building relationships, and it's not in what you drive. I mean, it's nice, and I'm not saying you drive, a crappy car, or, just those.
Make sure that when you're driving that car, that Lexus or that Rolls Royce, that there's meaning in it.
There's meaning, and I feel that you need to, and then we're going to get into something way completely off, but if you're blessed, bless others. Don't hoard. Like, you don't take anything with you. So while you're here and you have all these blessings, bless others. And I think it's really important to serve and to just and be there for others. You need, for me, it's more important to leave a legacy on this earth than to leave 20 houses. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Those 20 houses will go to the next investor.
But it's really, it's awesome to dream big, and I'm not on my soapbox saying, oh, you need to live a humble life. No, want things and want to be successful, and it's an amazing feeling, but then also give back and also be grateful. Yeah.
And always remember your why.
Your why, yeah, definitely. But yeah.
Our why is...
What's your why?
For the Strong Women Squad, what's our why for the Strong Women Squad?
Okay, our why. I think when I heard you talk about your vision, I think we're in an era right now where women are being identified and being lifted and raised, and I definitely want to add to that momentum, because there's so much negativity going around that we need to be pushers of positive messages and positive impact. So if there's an awesome woman doing something, like that person needs to be put on a platform, and her story needs to be told, and maybe to inspire other women to want to do that, because there's just so much negativity that surrounds us all the time. So I think that would be my why for this series. What about you?
Strong Women Squad. For me, it's to empower all women of all ages, of all types, to live and to embrace themselves, self-love, and know that you are enough.
Yeah.
And whoever can't see that, it's their loss, and you just keep doing you.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like you said, there's a really strong women empowerment movement, and it can get lost in translation with certain groups going one way or other groups going a certain way. So I want to be very clear about the why behind the Strong Women Squad. It is to empower women to own and embrace themselves, regardless of what that is. If you like to be nude, that's more power to you. If you like to be modest, live it, love it, embrace it. And I would like to, our last question to be our definition of feminism, so that we are very clear as an organization of what feminist means to us, because might be a little different than...
It's definitely a word that's very loosely used, and it's used in many different platforms at different levels of extremism, I think, and it could have a negative connotation, and it can have a positive connotation. It just depends on who is giving that explanation. And She Rises was not created as a platform to bash men. I love men. I respect men. Men add a lot to society. I think for me, feminism is the empowering of women and empowering them to step out and not be ashamed of what they offer, and actually want to be out there creating a positive impact with whatever influences they have, or any talents they have, or anything that they have. That's in no shape or form bashing on men, and I just want to make that very clear.
And I believe the definition of feminism is the social, political, and economic equality of women. That doesn't mean that we're above or below. We're all human. We are all one.
Yeah.
But we do matter, and just as much as men matter. That is all we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, of course. And